guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my face before on your little computer screen, my name is Joanna. So today I am going to be doing one of my favorite videos of all time because it's a foundation review. And foundation reviews are my jam. They're my favorite thing ever because I just think it's a lot of fun and it's like the base of your makeup routine, so you really are always looking for the best foundation in my opinion. And the one that I'm reviewing today may very well be that in your life. So this is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation and it's what I'm going to be talking about today. It is a foundation that was rated Allure's #1 foundation for I think 2016. I don't think 2017. I'm not entirely sure, but it was rated the best foundation of one of the years, so that's kind of a big friggin' deal. And I had wanted to use it for a long time before I finally went and picked it up about half a month ago now. So yeah, I've been testing it out. I wanted to give you guys an in-depth review of everything about it. If you haven't seen one of my foundation reviews before, what I like to do is I start with a demo, then I go into talking about the foundation and the line itself, and then I finish off with my personal thoughts and my actual review of it. So yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's just get into the foundation. So I already have on all of my moisturizers already, but I just want to tell you guys what I have on right now, and that is the Kiehl's Creamy Eye Avocado Treatment, or Creamy Eye Treatment with Avocado, and I'm using the Caudalie Vino Sourced Cream Sorbet Hydrant. So to start all of my foundation, I do always wear a primer, so that is what I'm going to apply today. This one is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. I do have some healing breakouts, and by that I mean like light scarring. And I do have one somewhat active breakout down here. So I always like to do foundation reviews with kind of breakouts going on because I think everyone has a breakout, like at least on a somewhat regular basis. So you do want a foundation that you can wear and still feel comfortable with when you are breaking out, and you don't want it to feel like it's making it worse. Like all of my other foundation reviews, I'm using the buffing brush from Real Techniques to apply this. I just like to keep all of the brushes standard throughout all the videos, so that way you can always compare how it applies off of one brush. So the Becca Luminous Foundation, or Luminous Perfecting Foundation, comes in a nice little glass bottle, and it has a dropper, which honestly I don't think works that well, but you guys can see that the foundation is hanging out in there. And then I'm just going to do a little squirt and a half, I guess, of the foundation. And in case if you guys are wondering, this is in the shade Light. So they don't have a super extensive range. Again, I'll get into all those details later on, but I just want to throw out my shade. So I just apply this by kind of dotting it on. It is not a very thick foundation, but it does kind of stay where you apply it, so it's important that you start by applying it kind of in the general zones and then work on blending it out within those zones, if that makes sense. Like, you want to make sure that you're putting some of the foundation everywhere, because if you start by just working on your cheeks, it's not the kind of foundation that you can start here and then get it all the way over here. So you kind of have to start it in multiple areas of your face, which isn't anything new compared to how I like to apply my foundation anyway. So as you guys can tell, it does apply really quickly. Like, I could basically leave it like this and not worry about it, but I am just going to keep blending in a little bit. Now, I have applied this foundation with a beauty blender before, and I do really like that kind of coverage with it, or that application with it, but it does give you a much dewier finish. So if you're looking for a little less glow and you just want the foundation to be glowy in its own kind of like iridescent way, then I recommend using a brush. If you want it to be dewier with a dewy finish and then have the glow from within kind of appeal, then a beauty blender is a really good choice too. So using my trusty giant Marc Jacobs mirror, I am just going to talk about how the foundation looks to me. So One thing that I'll say about this foundation is that it's definitely a light coverage. It is technically blendable, but I almost never really use more than the initial pump because I just like the kind of light finish that it gives you. It does even my skin tone out and my complexion, but obviously I still have natural pinkness from the cheeks. You can still see my kind of acne scarring, and yeah, that's really that. As far as how it blends out, I don't have any streaking, but I do not have like a flawless finish on my forehead or anything like that. Like, you can still see fine lines with this foundation. So that's just something to keep in mind. What I do really love about this foundation is just kind of the glow that I get in the center of my face with it. Like, I really notice it underneath my eyes and at the tops of my cheekbones, that it just feels illuminated, and that's not something that you find in every single foundation. So I really like it because it makes your skin just look really healthy and glowy, but again, not in any way perfected. So this is definitely a kind of your skin but better kind of foundation. So once I've done all of that, I feel really confident with how much coverage I end up getting because I'm not someone who has too much discoloration throughout the center of my face. It's really just my under eye circles that really bug me, and then like kind of spots here and there that pop up. But I love how this looks. One thing that I will say is that I do really feel the need to set this foundation. It's just a little too glowy for me, in the fact that it feels like you can feel kind of like that sticky feeling almost. Not to the point where it's unbearable, like it's not a bad finish at all. If you wear kind of glowy, dewy foundations on a regular basis, you'll probably love this. But personally, I don't like to have any kind of shine feeling because I think that I end up looking greasy. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the rest of my makeup. I'm not gonna show you guys that because you can see all of my makeup tutorials to figure out how I do my makeup, but I will be back to talk about the product itself. Okay, so now that my makeup is all done, I'm going to get into talking about this little foundation. So I am on the Sephora app right now, and according to their website, the foundation comes in 9 different colors, and they range from medium undertones to neutral undertones to rosy undertones. So you have a fair amount of options, but the darkest color is called Deep Bronze, with the deepest with natural golden undertones. So it's a pretty limited range, honestly, which I don't really like because, again, even for me, like when I went in there were only 9 shades to choose from, and I wasn't really sure which one worked for me. And then the girl at Sephora like didn't know how to properly color match me, and it wasn't coming up in their IQ system. So again, not the best range if color matching is something that you kind of struggle with, or if you feel like you don't fit into the normal scale. The foundation itself comes in a 1 ounce glass bottle, which I already talked about. So 1 ounce, not too much, but I think that's pretty standard, and it costs $44. So yes, it is a fairly pricey foundation, but if you guys know my foundation reviews, this is a pretty standard kind of price, and I think that for foundation, it's always nice to spend a little more because you're wearing it straight on your face all day, and it's the thing that is going to kind of affect your skin the most. According to Sephora's app, this is supposed to be a flexible liquid foundation that is supposed to blur and perfect your skin tone with a light and buildable coverage for a radiant finish. And it is supposed to feel ultra light and buildable, perfect your complexion, give you a luminosity that blurs imperfections, and leaves a soft focused glow. So blah blah blah, and it says to shake well. So that's kind of the information about the foundation, and it was voted, it says on there, the Allure 2016 best foundation, so the best foundation of this past year. I think that the coverage is very, very light. I love it for the kind of coverage that I'm expecting to get out of it, but I definitely don't think that you can build this up to anything past a medium light coverage, and that would be stretching it. I really feel as if this foundation will shine the most as a light foundation, and I wouldn't try to push it past that in any way. So if you're looking for coverage, steer clear of this guy. As far as luminosity, I think that this gives you a very flattering finish, and it does really give you that glow from within. But like I kind of talked about while I was filming this, I do feel the need to set this foundation. If you guys don't feel like that, then you'll get a lot more glow than I do on a daily basis. But as you can kind of tell through the video, hopefully, I do still have a very kind of glowy finish. I have absolutely no highlighter on, and yet you can still kind of catch my cheekbones in a really nice way, but it definitely does not like replace highlighters. If you're looking for really like glow, then again, this is going to be a little more subdued than that, but definitely a really beautiful finish. I can wear this foundation all day and I don't really notice anything kind of shifting around. Again, it is a light coverage, so it will be a little more forgiving with that. It's not going to fade in a way that's going to be super drastic, but I definitely don't notice my makeup moving or anything when I'm wearing it, and like that includes that my powders aren't fading or anything like that, so that's pretty nice. I will say that I don't think that this is a foundation to wear to special events unless if you have really perfect skin to begin with, because it isn't going to give you a lot of coverage. It does have that glowy effect that in photographs may not look super great because it's going to do a little more of a shine factor even though it doesn't have any SPF in it, which again is another downside that I don't believe, as far as I know, that this foundation has any SPF in it, which kind of stinks. As far as the bottle goes, I do really like the feel of it. It's a nice heavy sturdy bottle, but I really don't like this dropper. I mean, I like the idea of a dropper. I think it's really hygienic, but honestly when it starts to run low, the dropper is going to get annoying because I'm going to have to start pouring the foundation, which you'd have to do with most bottles I guess from time to time, but I can't like really turn it over and leave it that way. That wouldn't work. And the dropper itself isn't really that great. Like if I drop everything out of it and then I kind of go in to suck it back up, it'll only come up about 1/3 of the way of the dropper, which is not how a pipette should work in any way, shape, or form according to my long extensive history of bad science skills. So my final verdict on this foundation is that it is an amazing foundation if you want something with light coverage and with a little bit of glow. I definitely think that it's something that I will be using a lot, especially now as I've become more comfortable with a lighter coverage finish on my skin, but I don't know if it's going to be for everyone, and I don't know if it's worth it to pick up unless if you are fully prepared for a light coverage finish. I love having my natural skin peek through. I love wearing this on a daily basis because it is so light and it doesn't make me feel like I'm walking into class with a full face of makeup on, even though I do in reality, and that's just something that I really like. So if you guys are looking for a lighter foundation that will give you a nice kind of wakening up or glowy, fresh-eyed look for your daily basis, then definitely check this out. But if you are looking for a foundation for like just for the weekends when you're going out and hitting the club, then probably not your best bet. So if you guys have a foundation that you want me to review next on my channel, make sure to leave it in the comments down below or go ahead and tweet me. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. I hope that you guys are having a happy start to the holiday season, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! And if you guys want to check out some of my last videos that I've posted, go ahead and click the links right here or click on my floating head to subscribe.